All right, meantime, a live look at the White House, where President Obama is getting set to hold his traditional year-end news conference before heading to San Bernardino, California, to meet privately with the family members of those killed in the recent terror attack. And then it's on to Hawaii for the annual family vacation. The California trip comes on the heels of a flurry of public events this week aimed at defending his response to terrorism and reassuring the American public. In the meantime, there are multiple reports that Mr. Obama recently told a group of news columnists and bloggers that he realizes that he was slow to respond to public fears after terror attacks in Paris and California, acknowledging that his low-key approach led Americans to worry that he wasn't doing enough to keep the country safe. Kat, what do you think about this? I mean, for the president to concede that he actually knows that he's moving at a glacial pace on really serious issues.
Well, the thing is, by doing that, he was moving even slower. He goes on this little speech spree saying, don't judge me, you know, love me, don't judge me. I really do care about terrorism. Go to San Bernardino. Don't try to insist people that you care. Go there and be there. This isn't about you. But he was so much more concerned about his reputation, making sure people didn't hate him, than actually doing something for the people that were most affected by it.
Yeah, you know that they move slow. I mean, Melissa, we saw with the BP oil spill. We saw one Christmas with the Times Square bomber. When he was out in Hawaii again, surfing and doing all that stuff, he didn't respond for days to a terror attack. And you know, the worst part about this is he concedes that he knows that he's not doing what the American people want. I mean, that's the weirdest part.
And we're getting this information because he did this off-the-record, on-background, which apparently is not off-the-record background, interview with some influential columnists in the White House, and he admitted these things. The scariest thing I thought he said in this meeting, where he's trying to spin things in his favor and kind of like reset, no, I care, I swear. He says he told the columnists that he envisions sending significant ground forces to the Middle East only in the case of a catastrophic terrorist attack that disrupted the normal functioning of the United States. He's only going to send people if something is so huge here like 9/11. He's basically inviting them to do it. He's saying that I'm completely reactionary. I'm only on the defense. I'm never going to be on the offense. I'm not going to do anything until our body count is humongous. That's really scary. That's not the guy I want in charge.
And Kennedy, why doesn't he change it? I mean, when he wants to spring into action, if it's an issue like up in Cambridge with the beer summit, if it's an issue in Chicago, if it's a shooting, we've seen him spring into action.
That's absolutely right. And I think it's interesting because the left is still posturing themselves to treat this as a gun control issue. And it's a terrorist attack. I mean, this is an act of terrorism. And obviously, you know, people are shaken to the core in the surrounding communities. But think about those family members. This isn't just a mass shooting where he gets to come out and wag his finger and condemn everyone for, you know, holding the Second Amendment somewhat sacred. And this is very different. And I still think a lot of it is preserving his legacy. I think a lot of it is, you know, he doesn't want to acknowledge on a grand scale that this is in fact a terrorist attack. This is in fact an intelligence failure that happened on his watch.
You know, Bernie, whatever fantasy land he lives in, the reality is terrorist attacks are happening on his watch and people are scared. And he chose to come out in the Oval Office 2 weeks ago and talk about attacking the First and the Second Amendment. He doesn't get a do-over on that.
Well, he's trying to get a do-over, and there's no doubt about it that the administration was totally blindsided by the rise of ISIS. And after the Paris attack, he said that the climate change conference in Paris will be a strong rebuke to the terrorists. That's what he said. And then a week later, we had San Bernardino. Now, the worst thing he does, he actually conflates justified fear and anxiety, genuine fear and anxiety. He conflates it with Islamophobia, and that's the most scurrilous and dangerous thing that he does. And he doesn't address it. He should go out today and tell people, if you see something, say something. Don't worry about, you know.
But then tries to fan the flames of hysteria when it comes to climate change.
Right.
You know, it's like, those priorities are so misplaced.
Exactly right.
Well,
that's where his passion
if you see something, say something, unless you're bringing a clock to school like Ahmed, and then he will jump to the defense of Ahmed. So he's all over the place, actually.
It's scary.
All right. Well, Jeb Bush stepping up his attacks on Donald Trump's fitness for the presidency. So is this a good strategy? And what will it mean for Republicans in their hopes of taking back the White House in 2016? Plus, an entire school district canceling classes today over backlash from an assignment involving Islam. We've got the details.